What's up, everybody? Keaton here, back to make some more predictions. This time it's going to be for the 2016 MLB postseason. Going to be talking a little bit about the ALDS and NLDS matchups, give my picks on who I think is going to win, and also some analysis. So let's get down to it. All right, so who is in? Well, as you can see here, we got the bracket laid out for us. We'll start over here going left to right. As you can see, we had the wild card game on Tuesday night, the AL wild card game. That was the Toronto Blue Jays hosting the Baltimore Orioles. The Blue Jays won in walk-off fashion thanks to Edwin Encarnacion with a walk-off home run in the bottom of the 11th. Great game all around. It was really entertaining. I really enjoyed it. Up there at the top there, we got the number 3 seed taking on the number 2 seed Cleveland, and the number 3 seed being the Boston Red Sox. And then as you can see down there as well, we have the Blue Jays moving on after winning the wild card game to play the Texas Rangers, who is the number 1 seed from the American League. I'm going to jump over to the right here, talk about the wild card game here, the National League. The Giants played the Mets last night. It was probably one of the best pitchers duels we've seen in a while. The Giants ended up winning that game because of an awesome 3-run home run. And that was in the top of the 9th, I believe, and just insane moment there for Giants fans. And they ended up moving on, so they won the wild card game again. If I was a bet man, I'd probably bet them to win the World Series because every time they seem to win the wild card, they win the World Series. So there's that. And then we can see the number 3 seed Los Angeles Dodgers playing the number 2 seed Washington Nationals. And then the Giants moving on are going to be playing the Cubs, number 1 seed. All these games are best of 5 series, people. The divisional series are always best of 5. The championship series, which will be basically what is the semifinals for baseball, will be a best of 7, and the World Series will also be a best of 7. All right, so let's move on here. So we got in the ALDS, the first series we have is going to be the Boston Red Sox taking on the Cleveland Indians. Now, the Cleveland Indians will have home field advantage for this. They they got the better record, so they're the higher seed here in the playoffs, and so that means that the Cleveland Indians will have more games played at their field there. They will go 2 here in Cleveland, and then they'll go back for 2 in Boston, obviously if necessary, and then come back for the last one in Cleveland. So with these teams here, Cleveland kind of a surprise team, I would say, to be where they are, being the number 2 seed in the American League. I mean, they've had their average years in the past, and I think the people, most of them think that they weren't probably going to get here this year, but they did. They bounced back, and from having a couple rough starts there last season, and it's good to see them back here. Good for the city of Cleveland. That'd be pretty insane if the Indians can make a big run at it after we saw the Cleveland Cavaliers win that championship there for the first time. And that was really interesting as well. Okay, so then we got also the Red Sox. Again, it'd be great to see the Red Sox make a good run just because it's Big Papi's last year. I mean, the Red Sox, they have they have enough World Series. As a fan of other teams, you'd like to see someone else win, but you also want to see Big Papi go out with a ring too. That'd be pretty cool as well. But in terms of my opinion, I'm gonna go ahead and take. I'm gonna go Cleveland in 5. I do think this will go 5 games because these teams are too evenly matched. I just think that the Indians they want it a little bit more. I think the Red Sox are still a pretty young team. They got some learning to do. I think that the Red Sox pitching and the Indians pitching, I think, is pretty even. I just honestly, like, the main deal breaker for this one, giving it to the Indians, is probably just the home field advantage aspect of it, since they're the higher seed. But yeah, I got Indians in 5 games there. So our second ALDS matchup is going to be the Texas Rangers playing host to the Toronto Blue Jays. I mean playing host as in they have home field advantage. Texas will have those 3 games, if necessary, in Texas. The Blue Jays won the wild card, so they're coming out to play the number 1 seed in the ALDS. That's the way it works here in baseball postseason. Everyone's talking about the Rougned Odor, Jose Bautista rematch. I honestly don't think it's going to be anything important. If you're a good enough athlete and you're focused on the task at hand, you're going to completely ignore the other person. That was the regular season. This is the postseason. You cannot afford any mistakes, no ejections, no suspensions, anything like that. All that stuff can come back to haunt you. And I think they're going to be pretty well behaved in this series. Of course, Rougned is going to get booed in Toronto heavily. And of course, Bautista is going to get booed in Texas heavily. That's just baseball. That's just how the fans are going to be. But that's, I honestly don't see any controversy going beyond that. I think that they will actually play the game the way it's supposed to be played. At least we hope so. And I do think this is going to be a really well, hard-fought series. I think the Texas has the upper hand right now in pitching. They have a better bullpen, at least. The Blue Jays have been giving up some runs in their bullpen recently, and I just think that Texas got the edge on the pitching. I think the offenses, honestly, I think the Blue Jays offense is a little bit more dangerous when they're healthy and when they're ready to go and they're all in the zone than I think that the Rangers offense is. Of course, the Rangers offense is good as well, but I think the Blue Jays got a little bit of an edge on that offense there. Honestly, we'll just see what it comes down to. I think this is going to be a really hard-fought series. This one, out of all of them, will definitely go 5 games. I think that with that being said, since the Texas Rangers have home field advantage, I'm going to go ahead and go with the Rangers in 5 games. It's just so hard to pick these. I mean, anyone could come out and win on any given night. It really is just going to depend on who comes more ready to play, Alrighty, so there's that. That's the American League Division Series matchups. Let's go ahead and move on to the National League Division Series matchups. First one we got is the Washington Nationals taking on the Los Angeles Dodgers. Okay, so Dodgers being the number 3 seed, and the Nationals being the number 2 seed, giving the Nationals home field advantage for these 5 games here. It's crazy. The Nationals have made it to the playoffs so many straight years. They've had one of the highest payrolls in baseball for the past couple of years, and they just never seem to get it done. The same thing, honestly, can be said with the Dodgers. They've had I think these 2 teams have had the top 3 payrolls in baseball these past couple seasons. Both of them make the playoffs. Both of them choke. They just don't know what it takes to win the playoffs for some reason. But we'll see what happens. I think this is going to be a good series. This one's actually going to – I like this series. I like the pitching matchups we're going to have here. I think the Nationals, starting pitching-wise, they're deeper than the Dodgers for sure. But I think that the Dodgers, they have a little bit of a chip on their shoulder, and so do the Nationals, which is going to make for a really good series. I think that they match up pretty well here. Their offenses, I would say the Dodgers' offense is just as good as the Nationals' offense when both of them are healthy and stuff like that. I can't really give an edge to any offense in this situation. Both, when they're hot, play just great baseball. So, this is going to be a pretty interesting series. I think this is one of the first times I've had all the division series go 5 games, at least in my opinion. But, with this one's definitely going to go 5 games. They both have the chip on their shoulder. They both have just struggled in the past, like I've said. I just think that's going to make for a really good series. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and take the Nationals in 5 games. I think that this is going to be, Nationals got home field advantage. That's going to mean something to them. They're hungry. They're ready. They're finally ready to move on in the playoffs. These poor National fans have just been tortured the past couple of years. Or not tortured. I wouldn't say tortured. They've been teased the past couple of years. And I think they're finally ready to make it to the next round here. So I'm going to go ahead and go with the Nationals in 5 games there. All right, the second NLDS matchup, and happening to be my favorite NLDS matchup. You got the classic, been there, done that already, San Francisco Giants, taking on the Chicago Cubs. Ooh, man. Does it feel good to have the Cubs win their division again? Yes, it does. It's been a long time coming for them Chicago Cubs fans. 1908 was the last time the Cubs won the World Series. Wow. Back to the Future predicted the Cubs to win the World Series in 2015. Obviously, they got sort of close. They made it to the Nlds, but they did not win the World Series. So that would be cool to see them come out and win it this year. That'd be really interesting. I think this Cubs team has the potential to win 3 straight World Series. If, of course, God's on their side and they play good and they stay healthy and all that stuff. I do think this Cubs team has the potential to be a dynasty. But it's just so crazy. The Giants won the last wild card spot by a game over the Cardinals, and the scary thing is when you give the Giants a chance to enter the playoffs, you have done something so catastrophic to the rest of the teams in the playoffs, because the Giants, every time they make it to the playoffs, seem to just scrap together a World Series win. It's incredible. The Giants had the second worst record post All-Star break out of the whole major leagues. Only Atlanta had a worse record. And think about this. This team just won the wild card. They just shut out the New York Mets, for the team that went to the World Series last year. They shut them out in the wild card game after having the second worst record post All-Star break. Just think about that. That's crazy. I don't know how the Giants do this, but every freaking year they decide that they're gonna every even year, let's say, they decide they're gonna enter the playoffs, and they're not gonna win their division. They're gonna win the wild card. They're gonna go on the road. They're gonna win the wild card game, and then they're gonna come out and just take over the whole postseason. Okay, so that's what's scary about this series here. The Cubs. I can just imagine the Cubs fans if they lose to the series against the Giants. Everyone and their mother hates the Giants when it comes to postseason baseball, unless you're obviously a Bay Area native or what have you. Everyone wants the Giants to lose because they're always there. Let's get back down to more of the baseball side. I think the Cubs, super young team, explosive offense, great defense, great pitching. This team is by far the best in the major leagues. If you move over to the Giants side, struggling offense, struggling back of the rotation pitching, struggling bullpen, which it's just crazy. They just scrap together these wins here. They're going to need, if the Giants want to win this series, they're going to need Bumgarner-like performances from the back of the rotation. I know Cueto has had just as good a year as Bumgarner has, but we're still looking for him to be consistent in the playoffs. And obviously, Samardzija, he knows kind of what the playoffs feel like, but not so much. He's got good experience in the regular season, having success there. It's going to take some. He's got to step it up. And the back of the rotation's got to step it up as well. The bullpen's got to step it up for the Giants if they want to have a chance at this. I just think that the Cubs are going to have home field advantage here. Wrigley is going to be probably the loudest, most electric atmosphere in the whole postseason. I think they're just absolutely ready. The Cubs are absolutely ready. It's been a long time coming. I think the Cubs are ready this year to just do great things. I think they're ready to break back into the history book. So, with that, I'm going to go ahead and go with the Chicago Cubs in 5 games. This is going to be a great series. I cannot wait to watch. This series starts on Friday. This is going to be amazing. All right, y'all. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoy the postseason as much as I'm going to enjoy it. I hope you guys comment on this, like it, subscribe to my channel here, and share the video if you really enjoyed it as well. It's going to be an awesome postseason. I really cannot wait. I'll be back to make some more NLCS and ALCS predictions here, as well as some World Series predictions for you guys. But I really appreciate you guys watching, and enjoy your guys' postseason.